What's happening, people? Want to thank everyone for all the kind birthday messages. Sorry I can't get back to everyone, I've had that many, but my birthday's on postpone. We're on hold until the 24th of Jan, and we'll be having a birthday celebration and a world title celebration on the same night.
That Bush guy, I hate him.
What do you think is going to happen in that Gaethje Paddy fight?
Justin, sometimes he fights so good, sometimes so bad. I hope Justin Gaethje not gonna drink, party, gonna train, dedicate himself, be focused. It's his last chance in this life. Hopefully, he's gonna overstrike him on the feet, and then Paddy gonna try to wrestle him, and he's gonna defend his wrestling and win by decision. Justin, if you need the help, let me know. I'll fly to you and help you. I mean, I want him to win.
People keep calling Justin Gaethje inconsistent, like it's some cute flaw. But at this level, that's never random. That's history creeping back in at the worst time possible. That's a man who knows how close he's been to the top and exactly how brutal the fall felt when it slipped away. And when fans joke about whether he'll party or lock in, they're dodging the real question. What if the version of Justin that shows up is the one who knows this might be the last door in the hallway? And what if he decides to kick it down, even if the whole building shakes with it?
Ilya or Paddy? I mean, the fight not happening. It's Justin or Paddy now. Paddy got to get past Justin. Justin's a tough fight, bro. I don't know. A lot of people sleeping on Justin on the Paddy fight, which just makes me ridiculous.
Tony Ferguson didn't talk about punches or takedowns for a reason. Scars don't show up on film. They show up when the lights hit harder, the walk feels longer, and the air feels heavier than usual. When Tony talks about failed title runs, he's not predicting defeat. He's warning about a mental detonation that can either unlock something dangerous or shut everything down completely. And the part that keeps echoing, Justin Gaethje hasn't denied a single word of it.
You think Paddy's going to beat Justin Gaethje?
Easy.
Wow, really? Easy?
Yeah, easy.
That's a crazy thing to say because Justin Gaethje's a fucking animal.
Yeah, but he doesn't know how to grapple, and Paddy knows
But
that.
he's a Division I wrestler. He knows how to grapple. You don't think he knows how to grapple? He just chooses not to.
Did you ever saw him submitting someone?
I don't believe he's ever submitted someone, but I think that's because he likes to just crush people.
Everyone likes is to dominate people and to win as soon as possible. If you have the ability to submit someone as soon as you can, you would do it.
I think Justin Gaethje's mindset is to be the most violent person alive. That's one of the reasons why he lost some fight, because he took unnecessary.
Paddy Pimblett walks into this like the universe owes him something, and that kind of confidence is risky in ways people don't respect yet. When you've never tasted real pressure, you don't flinch, you don't freeze, you just improvise. That's why veterans hate fighting rising stars. But what if this rise was sped up on purpose? What if the road got cleared just a little too clean? And why is nobody saying out loud who didn't get this opportunity?
Paddy's not bad, dude. Paddy's not bad. He's very beatable, and Gaethje's very beatable as well. But when it goes into the passion and how upsetting Justin Gaethje has always been about not getting that real title shot, and they just keep dangling it right there again, Paddy's in for a new treat, right? Paddy's the one that's never fought for a belt. He's going in there. He's going to be trying to, get that stuff. He's going to feel a little bit more pressure. He's going to have that little bit of excitedness, in my opinion.
Daniel Cormier said it quietly, but it hit loud. When he brought up Arman Tsarukyan, he wasn't breaking down styles or footwork. He was pointing at the ghost in the room, the guy who checked every box and still got skipped. And that's where this starts to feel uncomfortable, because Gaethje isn't just fighting Paddy, he's fighting a system that decided this matchup was more profitable, and systems hate being embarrassed.
Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje fighting for the interim title. Whoever wins that fight will move on to fight Ilya. And I don't think that there will be a title defense for the interim title. If I was to guess, if I was to bet, there will be no title defense of the interim title. I think that the next fight for whoever wins between Paddy and Justin, I think their next fight will be Ilya Topuria. So do not think they will defend the interim title. So good movement and clarity at 155 pounds. I feel for Arman Tsarukyan, but this fight's going to be incredible.
By the way, before we dive in, 99.8% of the people watching right now aren't subscribed. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming MMA news. And without further ado, let's dive into it.
Here's where the paranoia creeps in. Every time someone confidently says the interim belt won't be defended, it sounds less like a prediction and more like a blueprint. Like this fight is just a bridge to something bigger, and bridges get burned after you cross them. So ask yourself why people are already debating the next fight when this one hasn't even happened yet. And who really benefits if this ends fast, messy, or controversial?
Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje. Who do you favor in that fight?
I gotta go with Gaethje. I feel like he's the one that loves to like get down and throw fist for fist. And he's also got the Division I wrestling to negate some of the biggest skill sets of Paddy. Paddy's like a very dominant grappler when it comes to submissions. I think Gaethje has the tools to keep it where he wants.
When Alexander Volkanovski said he can't go against Paddy anymore, that should worry you more than hype you. Champions recognize momentum the same way predators recognize weakness. But Volk paused before he finished that thought, just a fraction of a second. And that hesitation screamed uncertainty, like even he knows there's a missing variable here that hasn't surfaced yet. And when it does, it could blow everything open.
8 years ago, what's like the first thing that comes to mind when you think of that fight with Justin?
That I'm glad it's over and I never want to do it again. I'm like, the fans don't ever ask for a rematch or anything like that, because that would have never. I'm like, I'm glad. He's unique, man, and he's one of my favorite guys to watch. So like, but if you want to beat Justin Gaethje, you have to. So he's a forward fighter and a pressure fighter that he will stand in the pocket. And he's gonna throw everything he got in that pocket. If you don't meet him, you'll get chewed up. So Paddy, the way to beat a guy who like does this, very violent, aggressive pressure fighter, you have to meet him. You have to throw when he throws. So you got to be brave, and you have to go when he goes in between his shots. If you do that, you got a fair shot. If you don't do that, if you're not brave and courageous and throw when he throws in between his shots, it's going to be a really long night. It's going to be a hard night for you.
Veterans like Chael Sonnen talk about chaos like it's home, and Justin Gaethje really did build his career there. But homes get old, foundations crack, and when someone younger walks in without fear, they don't respect the walls, they test them. And I can't shake this feeling that Justin isn't scared of losing. He's scared of being used, because spoilers don't get rewarded, they get erased.
Not even like, they're just basically saying Paddy's more popular, you're getting it over Armin.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, right? And that's, I mean, God, I hate like how I kind of get into this too much, but I mean, that's really like, that's the definition of, a monopoly where a single promoter owns the title and the rankings. And it's not a good thing for the sport, in my opinion. And I have to question what it's going to do for the longevity of the sport. I don't think in the short term it's really going to make a big difference, right? Like, it's going to sell the next fight, right? It's going to sell the next pay-per-view. But trends tend to come and go, right? Fads tend to come and go. At some point, like, to have staying power and lasting power, I think it requires, a meritocracy-based system. It's going to require, some, if you want to bring in guys like Armin Tsarukyan or Movsar Evloev, I always mess up how I say his name. You want to bring in these Olympic wrestling level guys. I mean, they don't want to have to go out there and put on some ridiculous show to become a champion. They don't want to have to go on Instagram and start a podcast and make whatever kind of skits on social media and this silly kind of stuff. Like, they just want to be a world champion because they want to be the best athlete. And that's what makes me wonder how the staying power is going to be, right? When you're dealing with guys that are legitimate athletes that want to be legitimate athletes, and they're getting passed up by guys that are entertainers.
Eddie Alvarez understands pressure better than most, and when he warns about training partners, he's really warning about illusions. You can fake chaos in the gym, but you can't fake the moment your lungs are burning, and the person in front of you smiles. That's the secret. People forget that Justin drags you into places you didn't plan to visit. Once you're there, the map doesn't matter. But what if Paddy wants to go there too?
I'm not looking to grapple, but I have no issue, with the grappling department, and my ability to keep people from taking me down is second to none. So he's going to have to, compromise me with his punches and kicks and knees, and then, if that happens, then he'll have a better chance. But this is such a crazy game, you just never know. Maybe I'll stop.
When fighters say they never want to do that again, it's not weakness talking. It's respect mixed with fear. Surviving Justin Gaethje changes how you think. That's why this fight might not be about winning at all. It might be about who survives the story afterward. One walks out crowned, the other walks out questioned. And questions last longer than losses.
Honor to get in the cage with him and fight him, but feel bad saying it because I've kind of said it already. I think I'm going to retire him.
Is that where you think he is in his career? You think he
Yeah,
is?
I think he could be on the verge, on the precipice of retiring. He said himself he was going to retire if he didn't get a title shot. So when I beat him, he's not going to get another title shot, is he? So
Charles Oliveira saying Paddy shouldn't trade sounds obvious on the surface, but underneath, it's terrifying. When veterans all agree on the same danger, it's because they felt it. And yet, Paddy keeps smiling about standing and trading like it's a statement, like he's proving something to someone specific. That urge doesn't come from confidence alone. It comes from believing something about your opponent the rest of us haven't seen yet.
And I've never had a war in all my years of fighting, so I'm looking forward to one.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, of course. Always want one.
So you never had a war, you want to start it by doing it with Justin Gaethje?
Yeah.
Where's your head at, man?
It's firmly screwed on my shoulders, lad, but people are laughing at me when I'm saying I'm going to stand with him, but I am. People think that I'm just going to shoot in the first 10 seconds. I'm not. I'm going to stand with him, and I'm going to put it on him, and people are going to be like, wow, we weren't lying. He's more of a boxer with leg kicks, and I'm an MMA striker. I don't do just boxing or Thai boxing or kickboxing or taekwondo or karate. I'm an MMA striker, and you'll see that when I fight.
And notice how quiet the matchmaking side suddenly gets right here. No reassurance, no long-term promises, just silence wrapped in confidence. That's never accidental. When veterans start warning and contenders start smiling, it usually means someone's betting on chaos paying off fast. Because if Paddy wins, the story writes itself. If Justin wins, the story gets awkward. And awkward doesn't sell clean. That's the tension sitting under this fight. Not skill versus skill, but outcome versus inconvenience. And fighters feel that before fans ever do.
UFC, I guess 323, 324, whatever the seasonal press conferences we're at right now. We're here with, I want to say probably the most talked about man in the UFC right now, Mr. Paddy Pimblett, Paddy the Batty. Let's start with this, because for as much shit as you get for people saying like, oh, he might not deserve it, this and that, you've always said, you're like, look, bro, I fight whoever's put in front of me. Whatever name comes in front of me on a contract, that's who I fight. So I feel like there's, I almost feel like the criticism is a little bit unfair because it's not your decision. Like, you just fight who's in front of you.
That's it. And I've only ever done what the UFC's asked me to do, and every contract they've put in front of me I've signed. I've never missed weight, I've never pulled out, I've never fucked a fight up like some certain dickheads. So, that's probably the reason I'm in this position now, because they know I'm going to turn up and I'm going to fight.
When talking about how this fight came together, Paddy focused on timing and opportunity. He said he was already preparing to fight earlier in the year and even expected to face Justin before. Plans changed, other names dropped out, and this matchup landed back on his lap. To him, it feels natural, like something that was always going to happen anyway.
I thought I was going to fight him in Abu Dhabi in October, to be honest, but obviously that never happened, and now we're here. So I am eventually fighting him. I thought I was going to fight on this Jan 24th card, so I was preparing for Ilya for a couple of weeks, to be honest, just doing bits of training for him. And then obviously we got told it's Justin, Ilya's not fighting, so obviously me and Ilya mightn't like each other, lad, but I wish him nothing but the best with all his family shit. It's nothing to do with fighting.
There's also something strange about how relaxed this all feels on the surface. Big fights don't usually move this smoothly unless someone already likes the possible endings. When danger gets marketed as destiny, it's usually because risk has been calculated from above. Justin has lived through being the necessary threat before. The guy who makes fights exciting, but endings inconvenient. And when a fighter senses they're being positioned as a test instead of a future, they don't play chess, they flip the table. That's when fights stop being technical and start being personal.
On the list is Justin Gaethje. And the reason Justin Gaethje has to be on this list is I don't know if he's coming or going. I do not know if Justin, but it's going to be one of the two, make no mistake. Justin Gaethje is either going to be champion of the world or he's going to be retired the next time we have this talk. The next time we get together and we're talking about a year in review or a year in preview, the great year to come, Justin Gaethje's either going to be champion of the world or he's going to be retired. And
what people miss is how fighters react when they feel replaceable. Not overlooked, replaceable. That changes posture, patience, and mercy. Justin's never been the company guy who waits his turn. He's been the problem you deal with or avoid. And Paddy stepping into this smiling like it's inevitable doesn't calm anything down. It sharpens it, because inevitability is dangerous when the other guy doesn't care if the plan survives the night. If this turns ugly, it won't be because of a mistake, it'll be because someone rejected the role they were handed.
fast enough, you can get your shot and get out of the way before he gets his shot, right? It's an equal trade. But is Paddy faster? Justin just gave an assessment. I'm so happy for Justin, by the way. He played such an interesting hand here. And he didn't have the cards. By the way, he did not have, there was a lot of things that fell into place to get us to this point. If Ilia Topuria had not taken to social media and said, hey guys, time out, I don't believe we're at this point. I don't believe it was going to be Justin versus Ilia. I'll admit that it could have been, but I don't think it was. I think Paddy was going to get that opportunity.
Matt Brown calling out the system isn't bitterness, it's frustration leaking through. When momentum benefits one side too cleanly, the sport doesn't snap right away. It bends slowly until one night breaks it. Gaethje openly talking about derailing the hype train isn't trash talk, it's awareness. In Paddy, casually talking about retiring him feels either brave or reckless. Fighters don't choose danger without believing something deeply. Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria's absence still hangs over this like a shadow. Interim belts always fracture narratives, and fractures are where politics leak in. Tony Ferguson's psychological warning keeps echoing because Tony knows what it's like to be promised something repeatedly and never receive it. When Daniel Cormier mentioned Arman Sarukian, it wasn't anger, it was acknowledgement. Merit-based fighters are watching and taking notes. When Alexander Volkanovski hesitated before backing Paddy, fighters noticed. Hesitation from a champion means instinct and experience aren't aligned. Chaos ages you faster, and Gaethje has paid that price. But when someone younger steps into that chaos willingly, they either get baptized or they change the temperature. This fight doesn't bring clarity, it brings fractures. Suspicion is baked in before the first punch. January 24th isn't just about a belt, it's about which story the UFC protects afterward, and that tells you everything. Now it's your turn. Do you see this as Justin Gaethje blowing up the hype and reminding everyone who real danger looks like? Or Paddy Pimblett crashing through and proving the machine was right to back him? And why do you think that?